The Burnout series and its volatile style of racing has been making a strong impression for years now. Encouraging speed, crashing, and some of the messiest lap finishes known to man, it's an adrenaline junkie's wet dream. Enter Burnout Dominator, the latest in a long line of vehicular mayhem. Released for the PlayStation 2 instead of the next-gen systems, Dominator is hoping to keep the hope alive. But does it end with a checkered flag or a moving violation? In Burnout Dominator, fans of the franchise will see a potluck of past options in the World Tour mode. Here, players compete on international tracks where completing certain objectives like drifting tests, placing first in races, and accomplishing numerous takedowns unlock the next set of tracks. New to the series is the Maniac race, where you're rewarded for driving dangerously. But the same can be said about the entire game, really. Old favorites like Pursuit or Crash are oddly absent. The latter is especially disappointing considering it was one of our favorites in the past. Dominator features some well-made courses that are just as fun to drive on as to look at. While the cars could definitely use some work, the environments fare a little better. The bad news is that you'll be squealing around the same courses again and again, except with different objectives. Still, the few tracks you're given are more than enough to stir up some trouble. Dominator also features a multiplayer mode where players can duke it out in split-screen racing and objective-based modes. There's no denying it's fun, but it's also a little difficult to see upcoming obstacles when the view is so limited. This is generally a given with most racing games, but it's exacerbated by the speed of this series. While our favorite mode has been cut, there's no denying that there's plenty of other content to play through in Burnout Dominator. If you're new to the Burnout series, there's only one thing you should know: wreck or be wrecked. Although Burnout borrows conventions from most other racing games, they're a secondary concern compared to the game's primary focus: destruction. Casual gamers and racing fans sick of the pinpoint precision of Gran Turismo will enjoy the change of pace offered by Dominator's relatively sloppy driving antics. Here, players are rewarded for things like takedowns, or pummeling rival cars until they explode in a blaze of glory. Pulling off these moves is a pretty simple task, given Dominator's tight controls and the plethora of objects to slam cars into. The simplicity of Burnout is still its strongest trait. There are no gears to fiddle with or camber to tweak, just head-on collisions. If you happen to be on the receiving end of a takedown, holding R1 engages a bullet time-like mode called Impact Time, which slows the game down and allows you to navigate the wreckage of your car using the analog stick. Drifting towards opponents during this time and pressing R2 activates the Crash Breaker, which effectively detonates your car, hopefully in the audience of your competitors. Utilizing techniques like drifting, takedowns, and crash breakers, accrues boost, represented by a bar at the bottom of the screen. Utilizing the boost creates bursts of speeds called burnouts, and chaining them together nets you points. Burnout Dominator equally rewards drivers who take advantage of drifting and precise navigation through traffic, as well as drivers who like to get down and dirty by crashing into other cars. It allows for many styles of play, making it the type of game that just about anybody can enjoy. If there's one criticism that can be leveled against it, it's that it's basically the same game we've been playing for years now. For fans of the series, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's time that the franchise made some bold new moves. Burnout Dominator attempts to be a best-of compilation, yet it fails to include some of the best features the series has to offer. It's a decent stopgap if you're waiting for Burnout 5 to hit stores, but most will be able to milk it for all it's worth via rental. If the series continues to lumber on like this, its fans will, inevitably, burn out.